Hey everybody, I'm making a response video to one of the viewers. His name is Chris. You know who you are. So I'm going to answer a lot of his questions because a lot of people are asking me the exact same questions. First one is basically, do I think that somebody can do what I did uh, now and do it the way that I did it? And unfortunately, I would have to say um, no, because we're going through a consolidation right now. Basically, the mining industry is got a lot going on. We are experiencing the SegWit problem. We are experiencing the Chinese ramping up the difficulty on purpose. Bitmain has been dropping their fees. They've been at the very last minute ramping up their petahash in order to continually increase the difficulty. What that does is it forces out a lot of the smaller guys, and they want that because they know that whoever's left standing is going to be the winner. And I am one of the lucky ones that's going to be standing. So now, the reason why all of this is happening is because of the financial situation around the globe. Uh, the situation was not like this a couple of years ago. And so now Bitcoin is being viewed as the bridge between the Keynesian economic system and whatever else comes next. Now, Bitcoin may even become the next, system. For I would certainly hope, but the problem that I foresee with that is, if that became the system, first I'd be very rich, but uh, I don't think it will. The scaling problem is still an issue. Dealing with side chains is one way of dealing with that. That's part of what SegWit does. Uh, the fact that we have too many issues that need to be resolved. But I do believe that Bitcoin is going to be a bridge. Bitcoin is also going to be a great enterprise tool uh, in the future for settlements between companies and countries. The other thing is that Bitmain is really 68% of the entire mining industry. They have a very firm grip on everything. We've seen Spinduli's go out. We've seen KCNC go out. We've seen Avalon go out. I mean, we've seen pretty much all of the uh, mining or miner companies that produce the actual miners go out of business because they cannot compete. Unfortunately, I'm going to buy the most efficient and the fastest and the best machine available, and that has been Bitmain. So unfortunately, it's given them a little bit of a monopoly. Now, uh, when you have a monopoly, you get to pick uh, winners and losers, and that's kind of what's going on, and that's the way it is. They're not going with SegWit. That's why you'll see a lot of transactions happening at night on their blockchains, on their hits. That's usually the Chinese. Chinese wallets are not upgrading to SegWit. Every The European and the American companies, they're all upgrading to SegWit, but it is it's something that has kind of been um, an issue for the Chinese, and there's a lot of reasons. I mean, I understand them all. I agree with half of them, but I think that we need a clear uh, a clear road, and we need a little bit more cooperation between the development team and the miners. And so I do see why they're doing exactly what they're doing, um, and they're standing together, which can't blame them for that either. So that is one of the many things that is preventing anybody from being able to get into this without having a highly skilled working knowledge as to what's going on in the mining industry. We also have the fact that we are beginning to see a lot more consolidation. And because of that happening right now, it is going to further consolidate and further move everything into more of a few hands. And unfortunately, that's something that I'm trying to fight with these videos in my own way. I don't like the centralization and consolidation that's happening, but it is a part of what life is. So I don't think that anybody can do it the way I did it. Now, the way I did it was I'm a Six Sigma black belt. I used to work for a building company that we built track houses. I was their corporate operations director, and basically, you know, my background is building systems and making them work. Now, I also have a construction background. I have a mechanical engineering background. You know, I've got a lot of things that benefit me in this actual industry that a lot of other people don't, or they have to hire out. And then when something doesn't work, well, in this business, if your HVAC system or your overall design system is not functioning properly, you'll burn up machines in a heartbeat, and that's hundreds of thousands of dollars lost. So you have to hire the very best, and they have to have a working knowledge as to the difference of this. See, these are not like servers. Servers, they're going to, you know, they're a completely different beast. So a lot of people who hire these data center guys, you know, they can build a data center. They can do a lot of things because a lot of things are similar. You know, I use hot aisles, cold walls. A lot of the stuff in our newest data center is got everything that Google has. We're using chilled water as our with centrifugal chillers. We're using that through the what we call cold wall. That's where we have an entire wall full of nothing but coils that we're bringing in on, because there's going to be about 2,000 miners per shell or per wall, and they'll be facing each other in what we call we have a cold wall room situation, and with that being the most efficient. But there again, if let's say if we have a static pressure problem, we have any other type of problems, there's a possibility of machines burning up within just a few minutes. In fact, my son and I were working on a circuit, and it was my mistake. I didn't take the safety precautions I should have. Sometimes when it comes to the fans, you gotta leave them running. And so I touched something, grounded it out, and the circuit breaker tripped. Well, we only had two of the fans on the hot side on this particular circuit, and believe it or not, even though two were running, it was not enough. So we had temperatures climb in the hot aisle. They went from 90 degrees to 180 degrees in a matter of 2 minutes. In fact, it got so hot that the door, it blew open like it was an explosion from the expansion that was happening in that room. So we had to shut down the entire mining operation on that particular location just to be able to go and fix that. That's how fast all this can happen. So the way I did it, because of my Six Sigma background and everything, it was I basically had been interested in Bitcoin since 2010, 2011, and I always thought of it as a hobby at first, and then I started making some good money with it. But I did some analysis on Bitcoin. I always believed in what Bitcoin stood for, and believe it is the best alternative to any type of banking system, Keynesian system that there is. And so what I did is, through my statistical analysis, there was a point in time in 2014 where I saw that we were in a convergence. We had already stabilized within the Bitcoin space, and I decided to get in a little bit bigger. So I bought 6 at the time. S5s were they were just on. S7s were getting ready to come out, maybe 6 months or something. I bought 5 S5s, and I started from there, and I got lucky. I hit a block, made some extra money, stuff like that, and started doing some more analysis. And then at that time, price started rising some more. I think we were at 200, just slightly over $200 when I started, and so a lot of things were happening, and some of the in what I do for what I used to do for a living was, if you have data sets and they fulfill themselves, and then you run your analysis again, and that set of data sets continue to fulfill itself, then you just keep moving forward. And after a few of those, what we call several deviations from the standard, continue to be the norm, that's when I decided, hey, this is probably an opportunity of a lifetime for me to get into it and start going big. And so that's what I did. But there again, in the beginning, we were not hugely profitable at all, even though, at that time it was 25 Bitcoin subsidy. Fees were next to nothing. And so, but I also did a lot of other things that most people do not do. I'll tell you some of them, but you're not going to be able to do what I do. And that is, I mine all of the blockchains. It's a very difficult thing to do. You really have to know what you're doing. I also have, part of my network now is being used for testing. So for local companies, I'm in a high-tech area, local companies that want to test out their product on my network are more than welcome to, and they pay me a fee for doing so. And that's something else that I do that other people are not doing. There's a lot of other things that I will not discuss because they're proprietary, but those are just a few of the things. And as a miner, you have to be creative, and you have to really be active in the space to be able to do those type of things. So that's how I'm able to, like, the average for a long time was for every petahash was about $670 for 24 hours. Well, I was earning well over $1,000 per 24 hours per petahash. And so that is because I was doing a lot of different things. It was not because of I was not just being lucky. There is a luck part of this, and you have to be able to create a statistical algorithm that will help with you in the beginning. Now, when you get large enough, it's a hell of a lot easier, let's put it that way. But in the beginning, you will have to switch between pools. You'll have to do all sorts of different things just to be able to pay your bills. So, and that is not like it was. Now, I mean, the guys who were mining years ago, they were the ones that were the luckiest ones at all. And if they stuck with it, hey, they've got some of the biggest mines on the planet now. But I'm going to be one of them. We're going to be growing at a very rapid pace, but I'm also doing a lot of other things. I do, I don't like to call mine a mining farm. I like to call it a data center, primarily because I do so much more. So that's a lot of the things that you have to have to be able to even make it somewhat in this industry right now. Now, the next thing is that you have to also be able to have all of the necessary skills. I'm constantly getting emails from people, hey, we're burning up board after board after board. You know, we've seen a few of your videos. We tried doing what you do and with no success. Or, hey, the worst one I ever got was this poor guy was like, dude, I told you I would have come down and helped you for a fee. You chose not to. And he had several $100,000 invested, and he pretty much destroyed all of his machines by not knowing all of the details. There's so much that goes into this. You have to really, really know a lot of these things. Otherwise, these machines, they'll burn up so fast you won't even realize it. There's a lot of things that it's kind of like electricity. Electricity is invisible, but it can kill you. Static pressure is invisible, but it'll kill your machines. You know, things like that that you really have to have those skill sets in order to move forward. Because of the fact that we're dealing with such a large amount of air movement in order to keep these things cool. Plus, it depends on your area. Now, like guys in Iceland, obviously, they're not dealing with air conditioning, so it's a little bit easier for them. But if you're in any area where you may have air conditioning for a couple of months out of the year, you really have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you just shut them down and only run them in the wintertime. Wintertime's a hell of a lot easier, let's put it that way. But so that's kind of what why I don't think it's as easy as it used to be. I'm not saying that it cannot be done. It can be done, but it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money because the cost for all these systems and what we used to call the miner's hump. Miner's hump is you keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and you got to get over this hump, and that's when everything begins to get easier. That's when your profit margins get wider and wider and wider. Getting to and over the miner's hump is hard. It's a very hard thing to do. But once you do it, it's pretty nice. So that's the first question. All right, so the next one is how much do you think it would cost? Back when my father decided to come in, I did a calculation. At that time, it was about 100 grand. Not anymore. I would say to get to the point where you're going to be profitable, get to the point where you're going to be able to get over the miner's hump, you're going to need at least $1 million these days. At least, unfortunately. And you're going to have the best power prices in the country. Now, I'm very blessed to be in an area, and I'm also, I had to read thousands and thousands of pages of the most boring utilities regulations on the planet in order to be able to get at our next location. We're getting 2.8 cents a kilowatt. Lowest in the United States. Yeah, baby. So we are doing that, but not only that, but you also have to really be highly skilled electrician because you're going to be dealing with all that. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how all this stuff works. When something fails, how are you going to know why and why it failed? What was the problems? I mean, our next location is going to be almost 6 megawatts. That's a lot of freaking power. And the power company wanted to bring me one big old 6 megawatt transformer. I said, hell no! You're going to bring me 6 1 megawatt transformers. You know why? Because see, 6 megawatt transformer comes out, blows out. Guess what? Those are big and they take a long time to build, and they cost a crap load of money. 600 kVA transformer is expensive. Now, a 100 kVA transformer is a lot cheaper because that's common, and I can buy one and have it sitting there ready to go in case it blows out and burns out for some reason. We've been through the transformer problems, so I'm not going down that road again. So I got to have my own transformers. Now, the power company does have a program where we're able to get the generators very cheaply, plus one of them anyways. The other one is going to be a hydrogen, well, it's actually a fuel cell generator, takes natural gas, breaks it up into a couple different components, and it is going to be 1.2 megawatts. We're going to have a 3 megawatt diesel, not, one's diesel and one is natural gas. See, in a situation like that, you're going to have multiple backups. Because let's say gas lines, somebody strikes the gas line, power lines go down, whatever the case may be. I got to be up all the time. So you have to plan for all of those different possibilities. So that's why it costs a lot more. Yeah, if you're going to do it as a hobby, yeah, buy S9, and as long as you have power costs less than 11 cents a kilowatt, you're going to make some money, and as a hobby, but you're not going to do it as a business. So figure out a way to, do it so that your wife doesn't kill you because of the noise and everything else, and figure out a few things. Most people can figure out how to run a couple of machines. Getting beyond that is very difficult. So, unfortunately, no, it's going to cost a whole lot more than $100,000 these days. All right. So the next thing was S9s. They've been sold out forever. Well, I got my S9s. I got more S9s. Me getting S9s is not a problem. You know why? Because I buy in bulk. Average guys are not getting S9s. You will not get an S9 from Bitmain for a very, very long time because of the fact that we're in that time where big money is trying to come into this, and because of that, hey, I'm buying a crap load of them. So is several other people, and we are dominating the manufacturing. And right now, Bitmain's pretty much it. So, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get them. That's why you will find people who spend millions of dollars to buy some, and then they resell them. They turn $1 million into $3 million by selling to you what they bought for $1,100, and they sell them to you for $3,000. That's what they do for a living. But unfortunately, that's just the way that goes. Now I get my machines for a hell of a lot less than even the resellers do. But there's a lot of things that happen that you guys don't know about, and relationships that you have to build, and all sorts of things that you got to do in order to try and make things work with this, and so that is why I can get them and you can't. And don't ask me to buy them because I'm not going to sell them to you. I don't sell none of them. I don't sell my S7s. I still have my old S5s. Guess what? As soon as the coefficient kicks in, every single one of those S5s is turning on. So I don't sell any of them. Don't even ask. Now, I will give one away every now and then, but don't ask for me to give one away. You got to really prove as to why I should give it to you. And so far, nobody's done that yet. I had one person come close, but he hasn't responded ever since the last time. So a lot of people just think I'm going to give these things away for nothing. All right, so the next thing is he says he's got a large commercial building that he wants to know if it's a good idea to start something like that. Yeah, you got a lot of money, you got a large commercial building, and you have a lot of knowledge on how to do this correctly. Yes, you're going to need a large commercial building. Our building is about 10,000 square feet. So, but it's got to be designed correctly. No matter how large your building is, if you don't do it right, you're going to destroy your machines. I have a friend who has a 175,000 square foot building that they were burning up machines just because, hey, the bigger the building, sometimes the harder it is to be able to do what you need to do to move the air. So they had to go with a gas turbine style, air ventilation system, and so very expensive. But all right, so next is all right, the costs. All right, right now, well, the price has gone up quite a bit. Last time I checked, S9s were anything over, you would break even at like 14 cents a kilowatt. Anything less than that, you were making some. Obviously, the cheaper your power prices are, the more profitability you have. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. Prices of your power is number one. Number two is you're going to have all of the build out. Build out is how are you going to design it, your shelving, your racking. There's your air conditioning, your ventilation, the dehumidification systems. There's a lot of things that you have to think about and buy and build in order to do this. So the next one is so basically I'll go over with you now is just, unfortunately, I took advantage of the last opportunity, I believe, to get into the mining industry, just because I saw the handwriting on the wall, and because of that, I was able to do this successfully, and I will be doing this in multiple locations. Having one location putting all your eggs in one basket is not good. So you want to have multiple locations because you could have any number of things happen that will shut you down. You got all of your systems shut down, hey, you're in big trouble. You just lost a lot of money. You also have to deal with a lot of different things, like when they implemented SegWit. All my SegWit pools, man, they sucked. I was making nothing. So I had to switch, and you got to be able to do that very rapidly. There's no real program to do that that doesn't charge you an arm and a leg. So you've got to learn how to program that yourself. And otherwise, you've got to have a lot of people typing in the IP addresses and changing things very rapidly. It doesn't work. You got to be able to do that type of stuff in bulk. Those are just some of the few things that miners face today. I am trying to fight the centralization of the mining industry. I do have some plans that I am not ready to discuss yet, but I will be helping to decentralize things in a much easier manner. As soon as I roll out my next network, all of that will come out. Plus, you got to deal with so many things. In today's atmosphere, a miner must really have Six Sigma lean strategies. And I am going to be the ultimate Six Sigma lean miner. In fact, I will be the world's greatest Six Sigma lean miner when my next plan rolls out. So I hope that helped, Chris. And if you have any other questions, feel free to get a hold of me. You know how. And as always, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more of these things, and always go out there and try and be the best person you can possibly be.